Let's go! And good evening. This is the Underground. World News Live. Here for this March 14th, 2025. And what is going on, everybody? Get the mic check out the way. That was quick, Pixie. Thank you. Much love, Deanne, E. Fitz, Hoodie Ross, Eon, MC, Bones in the house. I want to thank Tacos, Tooch, Kev Bar, Fry Guy, Hoodie, everybody out there that shares the stream. It's appreciated to the fullest. Much love, Quantum. Walk with God with us here tonight. Geo, much love. Thank you to everyone out there that sent me images of the blood moon. I'm going to go through some of those, or we'll just take a look at some of the information connected to it. I'm starting off with the shot from an eclipse. This wasn't the most recent one. This is an older one, but it was a great shot. Caught it just perfect. Perfectly centered there. A ring of fire eclipse. Last night was a lunar eclipse. And the old blood moon eclipse has struck again. Jump over here. I tried to tell people about this in advance so they knew. So they could step outside, maybe check this out. If you had clear skies. And it was classic blood moon event. lasted about 90 minutes. It was around 3 a.m. This hit its peak. And again, I know people out there were catching this from all over the place. Now, they dropped this image here. And this image, they're saying, is from the Blue Ghost. And the Blue Ghost is what they're saying is a pod that is sitting on the moon that was put there from one of the lunar landers. And it is taking images of Earth like constantly. So I'd like to see more of this and all this other stuff. And Happy Pi Day, as they put it. Today is 3/14 TMT. Much love, my brother. Thank you for the coffee. It is the best way to support the show. Appreciate it to the fullest. And J Bear, thank you for a coffee as well. Much love to all my cats across the pond in the UK. Everybody checking in worldwide. Yes, Jesus returns like a thief in the night. Bloody says a meteor shower tonight. So eyes to the skies if they're clear. You never know what you might see. Jump over here to the earthquake maps here real quick. Sheepdog in the house. We've had a decent earthquake strike in Southern Cali. A lot of people saying that they felt this one. You can see this was east San Diego. And what's interesting about this, and thank you, Meat Puppet. Remember, 6 months of the underground. Pure blood, baby. I told everybody how the history, the news reports were showing that what's popped the San Andreas or popped the Southern California fault line, this major one that's overdue, and going to devastate the area at some point. Was that like 9 times out of 10 when they went back and they looked at this area, when it popped or erupted, there was a lot of water weight in the region. And this all centers around one area, and it's the Salton Sea. So interesting that this 4.6 that people felt came from that exact spot. If there was a spot that I'd be watching in terms of this whole area coming unzipped, it's right here. Salton Sea is kind of key to all this, always has been. I've put out a ton of reports on this and talked about it over the years. All the data, looking at also the other fault lines that run into this region. I forget what movie it was. Maybe it was San Andreas. It was started off with a series of quakes, I believe, that began near Vegas. Some fault lines out that way. And you do have fault lines that run back it out here a little bit more. From up in this area and down toward the Salton Sea. And then you got some that crisscross around the Salton Sea. But you've also got one down here on the other side of this. Now, a long time ago, this whole area that you see right here, going up into what is modern-day Mexicali, this is where water flowed all the way up through here into the Salton Sea. And you can kind of see the geology of it, the way the earth looks there, and from this area. So they say that the more ancient quakes would have seen a lot of water in this area. And they say that water weight can set this thing off. So as the mountains are shedding its snow and spring dumping all this new rain, if you see any flooding around this area, it's only going to add to that thing popping. Let's put it that way. Southern Cali. Always wanted to see Cali. By the time I got to be an adult and everything else, the political scheme, though I've never had a chance to make it out there. I don't know if you guys feel these quakes. Let me know. Just checking the chat here. We keep it pushing. We've got some weather weaponry, as I call it, being unleashed again. This time, it is a massive dust storm. We've got fatalities connected to this. They're saying they've declared a state of disaster in Texas after this thing came through. And we'll play this clip so you can see how strong these winds are. And this is ongoing. This is moving across the United States right now.
Tonight, the stunning power of this storm seen on a highway near Amarillo, Texas.
There goes another one.
Massive wind gusts knocking over tractor trailers, one after another after another. Here, police stop to try and assist. Texas Department of Public Safety says there were at least 3 fatal crashes among 24 across West Texas. Here, panicked drivers trapped in a sea of brown dust.
Come out here, folks.
The powerful storm sparking apocalyptic scenes, reducing visibility to 0 across several major interstates, officials say, causing this mess of mangled cars and overturned trucks.
We got another flipped over semi. It's going to be in the northbound lanes as well, blocking all traffic.
An ambulance seen here crushed after a collision. And this pileup on I-27, which was shut down. The blinding conditions fueled by more than 80-mile-per-hour winds. Karina Garcia was in the middle of it all.
There was even rocks flying around because one of them actually hit my windshield.
And those destructive winds also fueling fires, including in Lake Tanglewood, Texas. This blaze just steps from homes and businesses. Tonight, others forcing evacuations in several counties across Texas and Oklahoma.
Priscilla, what a wild scene. This isn't...
Now, this is my big thing with it. With these winds, it sets up the perfect storm, so to speak, for them to kick up these fires. The winds in a really strong driving force pushing across the country here is setting the stage for potentially some huge fire situations, because I know already ahead of the storm, some of these areas were in drought conditions, some severe drought and very dry. So this dust storm is no joke. You just seen these trucks coming down the highway. You would think that at some point, rather than see this continue over and over again, they would close down an area. Well, I think some of those areas did get closed down. The vehicles just started to pile up. I mean, there's a point where you have to say, all right, just stop traffic. Everyone stop. As you've seen in one clip there, the police stopped to help one of these semis, and the wind was still about to take it off the ground. It was stopped, it was parked, it was about to tip it over.
Come out here, folks.
These 3 fatal crashes among
3 fatal crashes. So this is big time. Anytime the winds get like this out of nowhere, I question it. I know there's natural situations out there, but when these storms are so intense, they feel like a weapon, and they're pushed all the way across the country. Like, this isn't over yet. This is just the beginning. Alabama getting hammered with tornado warnings and all these threats going into tomorrow. A lot of different areas are going to see a severe storm threat. 2 big pockets setting up, and then going into overnight tomorrow night as well. So we're talking about tornadoes, severe storms, high winds. As you can see here, just an abnormally strong, not even a storm line, it's just a wind front pushing everything. I mean, almost like a hurricane over land, if you will, which is what it seems like. But the fire threat, top of my list. I'd be watching out, man, because this is only going to get worse, I feel, here throughout the next 24 hours. I noticed today around here, and we're not supposed to see nothing super crazy. I noticed that the winds had picked up and that it's getting a little gusty. I'm just saying, prepare y'all. I see some people out there saying that the nerves are racked because of this. Some people not looking forward to the storm line coming through. Again, it depends on where you're at. But a lot of different things can go down here. With these types of winds that are picking up, you don't need no kind of special weapon to spark fires in this instance. All it takes is really anything accidental. Somebody throwing a cigarette butt out the window, anything like that. Once these things kick up and you get quite a few of them going, it's like the fire departments and all the services, they get overwhelmed. They got to pick one and try to go at it. And I don't know, man. Heads up, y'all. This is a weapon to me. People are going to see flooding out of this. Again, tornadoes expected to kick up. I follow James Spann over on X. He covers the weather really good. Also follow Reed Timmer over there. Well-known storm chaser. And they both have been saying that everybody needs to watch out. This is a dangerous setup for the next 24 hours. And beyond that, at this point, 36 hours going into tomorrow night. So, again, just a heads up. I used to see these out in Arizona, what they call them a haboob. And this is like a monster one. Monster. I watched a massive one come in, and we just got done going to the top of Mount Limon. Drove up to it for the first time to go up there and see the views, see what it was like. And in came these warnings. And when we started to make our way down, you could see nothing. Just like this. By the time we got down into town, it done hit. You couldn't see nothing. Like 2 miles an hour. And then it passed. But it was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy event. It was pretty big. I thought to myself, I'll probably never see a sand or dust storm that large ever again. But here we go. You got this one rolling across Texas. Just a heads up. All right, going to keep it pushing here. Okay, haboob is a sandstorm. Well, that's what a lot of people were seeing. They were getting pelted with sand and rocks. One guy stepped out, played the video clip, and couldn't even hear him or anything. It was bad. It was like a hurricane on land, and all these little pebbles and rocks and everything hitting them, stinging them up. All that little debris is like shrapnel, man. Especially in a hurricane, like 80 plus mile an hour winds. No joke. Here with this next one, I thought that this was kind of hypocritical. The UN is going to have this climate summit, and in doing so, for COP30, as they call it, they have wiped out tens of thousands of acres of the Amazon rainforest. Continually. And I know they got to put in roads and this and that, but the problem with some of this here is that they pick a straight path. They cut the road out, trying to make the road as best as possible. But they're plowing right through ancient sites. And they seem to not care. They're just going right through them. This is how quite a few different places have been discovered here as of late because of this right here. Also with LiDAR and the other technologies they're using. But yeah, they're rolling right up on ancient spots and just plowing right through them. And I can't stand that. It's like, these are crimes. And this is ancient history. If you were to go and try to do this to some site, you'd get in trouble. But yet, again, they can go right through this place and then act like it's not there. Really not talk about it, act like it didn't do it. But the people down there that realize what's going on are like, no. You just plowed right through an ancient site that we don't know who it belonged to because we haven't had the chance to analyze it. But that's the UN for you. Got to get to the climate summit out in the middle of nowhere and take out thousands of acres of forest. Just for it. They couldn't have picked a more convenient place or something. You know, a more climate-friendly place, earth-friendly place. Nope. And like I said, how hypocritical coming from the climate change summit. And that's all like dying here thus far in the United States because Trump has pulled us out of all this stuff. That's a plus. It's a good thing. We'll see where it goes, though. Just because he pulls us out of certain pacts and says we're not going to participate in all your climate crap doesn't mean that they're not hitting us with weather weapons, because they are. I seen Jim, I forget his last name. He's an actor. He was in Half-Baked or something like that. He's a comedian. He lives down in Florida, and he shared a clip today. And he tagged Ron DeSantis. And he's like, hey, man, you know, just stepping outside this morning out here in St. Petersburg in Florida. And it was beautiful, clear blue skies. And can somebody explain to me why they are running operations of spraying us like bugs? And he was asking valid questions. He was asking about the chemtrails. He's like, why is this so? Can somebody explain to me? Look at that. He's like, look at this chem cloud basically in the sky. He's like, it was beautiful an hour or so ago, and now they've trashed the sky. And normally what we've noticed is when they carry on these operations, you'll see crazy weather following because they're doing all types of things. We have caught them cloud sitting right in front of hurricanes. The last one that hit Houston here a few years ago and flooded it out bad, yeah, we caught them right beforehand. The flights were up. They were being tracked. People were flipping out. And then we come to find out that, yeah, they admitted that they were cloud seeding. And, like, we threw as much attention on it as possible. But, like, people should be, like, going to jail for that. It's a weapon. Like, there's no excuse for it. The place got flooded. Cost the city millions of dollars. Probably took some lives in the process. You know, all that fun stuff. They helped create it. I've witnessed this way too much over the years. Way too much. I've witnessed them tell whole areas like not to evacuate, only to buzzsaw the area like all the way up the coastline with hurricanes. I've watched them do some crazy crap. And amplify them. We've had them in the past seem like they were steered. Yeah. Well, this is a plus for this one. This climate group connected to Bill Gates hit by layoffs. They should be hitting the jail cell. They should be hitting. But that ain't never going to happen, apparently. You know, when Billy Goats is down there hanging out with the Gentile Messiah in Mar-a-Lago and he walks out without cuffs on him, yeah, so this is a plus to me, a win. Whenever you see these places getting hit hard, they're going along with these scams, the global scams. And yeah, Bill Gates should done been in jail. If we could get an Epstein list, maybe we could put him there, but that ain't never going to happen. What happened to the drones? No comment. What happened to going into Fort Knox? No comment. What happened to the Epstein list? No comment. This is getting stupid. Anyhow, I'm going to circle back around to that here in a second. We've got an American Airlines jet that has caught fire, this time at the Denver airport. I kid you not. There was reports of a small plane going down earlier as well. I'm going to play this clip here.
Well, it doesn't look like we're flying out today now. Yeah. Maybe not.
They end up evacuating people out onto the freaking wing in some of these clips, which is crazy because that's where the fuel's at. Thank you, John, for the coffee.
That was wild.
You see all the people running out of there now. People freaked out. You can't even fly these days without something happening.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we're talking about this all the time.
Those must be passengers.
Oh, yeah, they.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah, those are the safety stuff.
Yeah, look at them go.
You know what caused it? We don't know. You know what causes half these things to happen? We don't know. We don't get any answers. They just keep happening left and right. And people shook up, freaking out when engines are catching on fire and everything else. That's the one thing about planes, you know, with the fuel in the wings and the engines being the thing that are going to catch fire the most. It's kind of a bad combination. No other way around it at this point. I would say so. I'd say there's plenty of ways around it. You could roll out some new technology. We've got it. And they're dropping disclosure like breadcrumbs right now. It's happening. And at some point, there's about to be a huge technological rollout, is how I feel. It's not going to be a breakthrough because they've had this forever. Some of this technology they've had decades. And they're going to roll it out here at some point because it's just that time. It's time to go beyond rockets in this little show that they're putting on. You know, Elon and all them know full well what's going on with space. They know full well what's going on with anti-gravitics, with propulsion, all this. They know these things. He's got people over here watching him launch these rockets still, and it's like old, ancient caveman technology. It's like, why are you doing it? And it's putting on a show. That's all they've been doing, is putting on a show with these events, as far as I'm concerned. Barbara, thank you for the PayPal. Appreciate it to the fullest there. If you guys are going to travel, man, just make sure you're doing it as safe as possible. There's not much you can do when you're on a plane and an emergency happens. That's why I will drive. Everybody's going to Cali. We're going to meet in Cali. Okay, well, I'm driving. It's going to take me a few days. NPNY, thank you. They're chemtrailing like crazy up there the past few days. Well, I'd be prepared, man. You guys get hit hard. I don't know what your weather conditions have been like, but I'm just saying stay sharp, man. Be vigilant. This is a weapon. This one they don't even talk about. It's so easy to use a weapon that they've got here. A weather weapon, especially. Much love, Kenny G. Yeah. The whole Carolinas area that's still reeling from the hurricane stuff. I talked about how they shut down the funding here recently that was going to be approved for all those people and the whole city and for Asheville and all the surrounding region. Like 200 and some million. But they rejected it because of what they said was DEI in it. Now, it's like, how quickly are you going to get this back? Like, yank whatever verbiage you didn't like out of it and get it back out there so these people can get back on their feet finally. If I get a chance here in the coming weeks, get down by that area, or try to, but keep pushing here. Pennsylvania, you're now on the radar, and it's not just them, it's going to be other states too. But Pennsylvania is going to face rolling blackouts this summer. This is something we were reporting on out of California and stuff like that because of just the way things were going. Now they're saying no, Pennsylvania is going to have California-style blackouts on the horizon. So, apparently, the state's residents have endured an electric rate hike that outpaces those of the neighboring states, and this results in a staggering 30% increase in energy cost. Now, I got to stop right there. I learned something a long time ago. It was when I was dealing with a broken leg and all this stuff. They were deregulating energy across the United States. And what this meant is that like one or two big players could no longer sit there and force you to charge you high price where one says, look, you're paying $5 for whatever, and the other one's saying, all right, you're paying $5.01, and they lock you like right there in a range. They broke that. They deregulated energy. And what people were doing is they were going around and they were saving people money because new companies had come around and they could now, when you deregulated energy, you allowed other companies, people, to come in and buy chunks of the power now. They couldn't do that before. And then they could go to the market. They could sell it for cheaper. And that, in turn, was saving people a ton of money. It was deregulation of energy. And people were going around doing just that. And they were saving people money. And you can still do it today. There's a whole arsenal of different places out there that offer electric prices in every region. So what you basically do is you go through and you shop, get the cheapest one, and you go to somebody and you say, hey, you want to save some money on your electric? Chances are you're going to be able to save people money on their electric when you do this. Guys would go in, they would lock these people in for like a 2, 3, 4, 5-year contract, and these guys that saved them all this money, they get paid a little bit every month out of this. Since they saved them all this money, they get a residual check. And it wasn't a huge amount, small amount out of everyone, but when they went to all these people, all these homes, all these businesses, all those residuals added up huge, man. And you could still do that today. It's an idea, look into it. You have to do a lot of walking, getting around and going to the door and talking to people. And it's kind of a salesman type thing, but at the same time, it's a real deal. There's no hidden gimmick or anything. You're there to save people money, and it's a plus. That needs to happen in Pennsylvania, or go off grid. It's an option. Yeah, you don't have to worry about no electric bills. When storms come through and everyone's got no power, you still got power. It's kind of a crazy feeling because it happened to me for the first time here not long ago, here recently, when it was wiping out all the people around us, all the power. But since we're off grid, we stayed rolling, and that was plus. It was huge plus. You feel bad for like all the towns and communities around you that don't have power, but at the same time, you're thankful that you've got it. More people need to go independent, man, with their power. Solar's a big one, just top of the list. You can do it. You can do it. You can cut that bill out for a long time. Decades. Forever. The way I see it, there's about to be some big announcements, man, during Trump's tenure. And I think the whole thing with energy that he's talking about and all this stuff, I don't know how far they're going to take it, but they're going to roll out some prime stuff. These drones that were floating around and what they told you about the technology that those drones have and everything is huge in itself. And then they came out and his administration told you it was us. It's the FAA. They're controlling all this, and it's us, basically. Well, then we're in control of some pretty badass technology that no one wants to talk about. We're in control of a technology that can outrun all of our military aircraft. It can literally outrun them. Their gas will run out, and these things keep on going. So they haven't divulged yet. They showed us. They showed the whole world. They put it on display, and they teased us for a few weeks, months, whatever there. And then it went silent. But then Trump came out, and he didn't say nothing, but his spokeswoman did make a statement and said that these drones, they're ours. And, you know, FAA is fully aware and in control of everything that they're doing. So then we look at the military places that they were encroaching on. Then we look at the interviews of the military guys that were there. When they say, look, these things came up and they were scanning our entire base. And when we tried to pick them up on thermal imaging, we couldn't see them. So now you can't pick them up on thermal. They tried to launch helicopters and jets to chase it, and it outran them. And they say that whatever kind of communication system that it has ongoing within it is internal, which is different. Because if most drones, almost all drones that you know of out here on a normal basis, they're controlled through radio frequency, okay? Remote controlled, right? And you can take them down out of the sky by messing with that, okay? They can't take these down by doing that. It shows that there's an internal, it's like it's sealed off. It's being controlled by some kind of AI, artificial intelligence, from the inside, or they can't explain it away. These are all brand new technological things that they just put on display in front of us. And they haven't said another word. Something big is going to happen here on many different fronts, but that's a big one. Okay, so I believe with the release of that information, the 0 point energy is the release of Tesla energy. Call it what you want, ether energy right out of the atmosphere. Because all the science behind it having to explain away the propulsion, the anti-gravitics, how these things are operating, how they're stepping in and out of dimensions. We've known this for a long time. For the guys that gave their lives years ago to get this out there. And even Stephen Greer backs all these things up now, with all the stuff they're coming out with. But it's like, hold on, we already knew a lot of this. Phil Snyder's, all the guys that came out talking about what they experienced in the dumbs and at these bases a long time ago. The energy, directed energy. All right, Dewey? We've already brought it up before. It's a real thing. The laser weaponry is a real thing. It's only going to get more advanced. And in terms of power, moving forward and saving money, I would look into getting property somewhere. Listen to me. Getting property somewhere, secluded somewhere. Private is the key thing. Have a water source on it and any other natural resources you can have. Timber, coal, natural gas, all those things are going to save your family's life in the future from here. It's beyond you. If you're looking for what you're going to do for your family from here, safe haven, where we're going, the safest place that I know to put them is out of sight, out of mind. You understand? when everyone turns into zombies and the cities turn into hell and all this other stuff because the lights go out or they can't get their money or whatever. Or next bird flu thing, whatever. You're going to wish you had a spot like this for your family, I would think. Because if not, you're leaving them to get caught in the droves of the masses. The zombies, to deal with them. Getting caught in that storm. I wouldn't wish that on no one. But yet you know it's going to happen because so many people just sit there. They listen to all these things, but they don't do nothing. It's like, I don't get it. I call it stupidity. I can call it all these things. And I'm not calling names to be mean. But it's like, there's no excuse at this point. I don't know. If you're happy in the city and you want to ride it out, then salutes to you. It'll be one heck of a story to tell on the other side, right? Everybody have their own story to tell. It's just going to be chaotic. I don't know. I would choose not to be there when all this goes down. Chaos. Well, check this out. If we want power, look what they need. They need tons of nuclear. And I got a problem with this because they need to just go out and just go ahead and roll out the free energy. They just need to do it. Look, Trump's trying to come in and do all these things. Like, and I'm going to get to more of this here in a minute. All the things he's trying to do. Like, just do this thing with the free energy. Like, just get it over with. Because you're going to have to put up nuclear plants that... This is what they're talking about doing. Putting up these nuclear plants all over the place. Like literally all over the place. Amazon needs them. Google needs them. Meta needs them. All these places need them. All these AI facilities need them. Trump came out, remember, and told them, oh, you're going to build your own little power plant right next door. And we were like, what? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because when the rest of this place loses power and goes down, they're still going to have it. You see? And I think everyone should be thinking along the lines like this. Like you should have some kind of backup power plan, someplace out of the city, and away from this nuclear stuff. How are you going to escape it? I just try to be not right as close as possible. The waterways downstream from it, or directly east of it, or downwind from any of these sites. That's what I would try to avoid. Kind of can't sometimes. In the way the wind blows, in the way they control things, you just never... These places are already falling apart and getting old in the United States. These nuclear sites, they built more. It's going to cause problems for decades to come. I mean, you see where I'm going with this, right? Like, just go ahead and roll out free energy, right? If he's willing to do away with all these other things, the taxes and all this other stuff, then what is the electric bill for every single person? Like, just take that loss. Whoever, however, whatever. Like, let's roll in free energy and, like, get it on with. It changes the landscape of everything. Then they can roll out what you would call a UFO or UAP. And it's just the aircraft, the craft that would be designed to flow through all this, to flow with all this. You really couldn't roll these things out without explaining the science behind it and all these other technologies. You couldn't. Because they all go hand in hand. It's a whole new world. Really. It's the real world. It's just always been hidden. And the way I see it, it's like a carrot on a stick at this point. They're going to dangle it out there. And if you want to partake in all these high technological advancements, you're going to have to join the beast system. That's how I see it. I don't think we're going to get lucky enough to be able to fly around like Jetsons, all of us, and experience that. You don't think Elon, all of them haven't been in these type of aircraft? Come on, at this level? Come on, get out of here. Yes, they have. And top secret areas, of course. And again, he's out here putting on little rocket shows for the lemmings, for the sheep. That's all it is. It's like a fireworks display or something, or just some little show, literally. It's putting on a show at this point. Roll out the energy, roll out the stuff. That's what I say. I'm going to keep it pushing. I want to blow up this map here real quick. Take a good look. This is your dependency per state on Canada and Mexico. Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Minnesota, Iowa. They depend heavily on these other places. Maine, Vermont, and a lot of their stuff, Michigan, coming in from right there in Canada. That's why. Down here, Texas, 49%, Oklahoma, 56%, Florida, only 14%, Cali, only 16%. Hawaii, 6%. Just to give you an idea, West Virginia, 45% out here. In the mountains, depending on stuff from all over. Just goes to show we all lean on each other, you know. No one state produces everything it needs, that's for sure. That was a beautiful thing about the United States, in theory. They've destroyed this thing, though. All right. You may have some youth out there, or you yourself, maybe you know how to code, right? And this is once thought to have been one of the jobs of the future, and a well-paying job, and one that, you know, you couldn't go wrong with getting. And you always hear the little jokes like, learn to code, you know. But reality is, there's a decline, and it's picking up quick, of American software developer jobs. Why would this be? Why? American software development jobs. Guys that are going in, developing stuff. Why are they getting wiped out? And they're about to be eradicated? AI. One AI bot can do what thousands of these guys can do in seconds. This is scary. This is real scary. This is like real deal threat right in front of your face. All these people are out there thinking they've got, you know, they put all this time in, they've got this knowledge on how to code. Well, like, it's obsolete. The scary thing here is we as humans in all these jobs are becoming obsolete. You really going to let your kid go into college, into a debt trap, into what job, into what field, on what? Some pipe dream? Let's base it on reality. They're about to spend the rest of their life paying debt onto a loan to go to school. It's a trap. For a job they're never going to get? It's a trap. Come on. You should be smarter than that at this point. We are. Some of us are. Okay, so they're wiping jobs out. And you're going to have to find a way to make it out the game at this point. You're going to have to. Because we're heading head on into the beast system. And so many of the people around you, even people listening to me tonight, are going to go onto it. People act like they weren't or they would never. They will. They'll say they had no choice. I don't want to hear it. Like, you take that to the grave with you. Take that in front of the Most High. But that's what you're going to say. It's going to be your cop-out. I mean, you've known what's coming the whole time. You've known it. You've warned about it. And we're on the doorstep, like right now. Just a couple of key events, and it's going to be implemented. As I said before, everybody that calls themselves a pureblood, well, salutes to you. I hope that all you remain that way. But any real bird flu or anything happens and real bodies drop, that whole thing's going to be put to test big time. And I don't see even 50% of the people making it through that they claim to be pure blood now. I'm sad to say. The world is a disappointing place. And that's what they've shown me. And as quickly as I see people cop out or bitch out, if you will, all the time, capitulate and all this and give in and all, yeah. Very few are going to take it all the way, which would be to death against this beast. Or surviving on your own, broke away from the beast system. It's one or the other. You're either going to go into this full-blown beast system because they're about to do the reset. Trump's told you. I've told you this. He said it out loud. We're just, again, a day or so away from waking up and like this whole thing being implemented. It's a reset. The cat's out the bag. I keep telling you about it. People shouldn't be shocked when it happens. But yet, yeah, it's whatever, man. There's so many shills out there right now. It's crazy. They've got so many shills, and the censorship on the real cats is so bad. It's just nuts. But the shills are muddying the water, and they're keeping all these people occupied in the wrong places. Okay? And that's dangerous. With the wrong things. And not keeping their eye on the prize. And keeping them prepared, so to speak. Anyhow, Elon is like against humanity. Any man that's trying to come and do what he's trying to do, he's got an army of bots, literally an army, thousands and thousands and thousands. They could release them tonight and they could take over entire cities, maybe even countries. Just put weapons in their hands. Again, humans are obsolete at that point. They don't even need them to fight a war. And I keep saying this, what are you going to do when he releases these things? Because this is where it's going. Everyone has spent all this money on bullets. These bullets are not going to fade. These Terminator bots. They're not. It's a whole different level. You spend all these years, all this time, and everybody is thinks they're sitting cush right now. Some are smoking a cigar, sitting on a mound of bullets, thinks that they've got everything in the world ready. But think again. You had the wrong enemy in sight. You had human flesh you were going against, and you better level up. Seriously. Because what they're going to end up sending in are these bots. Everyone's getting them. They're everywhere. By 2030, man, this is bad. Oh my. What jobs will be left? I'm not quite sure, man. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going to be left, man. A fraction. Okay? Remember, whatever humans are left over, Elon wants to put a Neuralink in the back of their brain so they can control them. So he's against humanity. Do you understand? He's not trying to save the poor. He's not trying to put food in the mouth of anyone. He gets pissed when normal people could short his stock for peanuts. You don't care. These people ain't about you. I see it clearly. You could have played the game and pandered to the whole Trump train and done all that, and it worked. It worked for a minute, but now it's falling apart. And it will continue to. But it doesn't pay to sell out. Which is what a bunch of cats did. They jumped on a Trump train. Now they won't even call him out for simplistic stuff. It's pathetic. I'm cutting all ties. I'm backing away. I gave people a fair chance, to be honest. We give these people props where they're due. We call them out where it has to happen. But anyone that doesn't want to call them out on the stuff that they're doing, you're part of the problem then. You are. Your silence and lack of doing anything patriotic, you're going along with the beast, is what you're doing. And it's sick. It's disgusting. It's the main reason that this country falls is because of that. It's because of that. Right there. Gotta be honest, man. Don't want to talk about warp speed. Didn't want to talk about the whole Gaza situation. You know, you don't want to talk about nothing. You talk about the whole blockchain. None of it, man. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it pushing. Gold surpasses 3,000 per ounce for the first time in history. And if you're butthurt about what I said about Trump, then just get out of here and don't come back. I've never pandered to Trump. I never will. Never have. I've given it raw. I'm not one of these people who jumped on the train to sell T-shirts and make millions of dollars like all these other fools did. Now all these shills that pandered it. No, I stood right here and I kept spitting it raw like I do. And I didn't use the crowd to make money off of them. Do you understand? To sell medicines or drinks to, or shirts or any of this other crap. Some of these people are disgusting out here, these shills. I know you see them. They're all over Twitter and all these other. They get promoted. They get tens of thousands of views on the streams. While we would get we have to fight for everything we get, right? Because we're so censored. They get promoted while you get attacked. And when you get demonetized, when you get deplatformed and all this other stuff, and you're getting attacked for the truth you speak, and you look over here and you see these shills thriving, what else you want me to call them? How else you want me to think? How is it that the real, because I know I'm real, is getting attacked and dumped on, but you're over here making millions? How does that work? I don't care if you like the way they look, the way they talk, the way they sound. I don't play that. And all you should be smarter than that too. See these shills that are pushing these agendas, keeping these people occupied on a daily basis with whatever that they want to start tweeting en masse. Like they set the tone to where they're going to keep your attention, right? So gold. Hopefully it's had your attention over the years. I tried to put a lot of light on it. If you've listened to me, you've invested since 2016, 2017. This is more than tripled in value. Tax-free in a lot of states. I couldn't have told you any other thing in the world that I could have told you to invest in over the years that has been non-stop on a tear, uphill, a slow burn, but uphill, setting a new record today, $3,000 per ounce for the first time in history. It's going to keep on climbing. It's going to keep on a tear. And it's tax-free. There's nothing that I could have told you of years ago that was anything that was tax-free. Because they tax everything. But here we are. Gold and silver tax-free in most states now. And silver's time to shine is right here. It's on the doorstep. Anyone that's been investing in this, man, back when this was below $16, I mean, the price has more than doubled for anyone just in the past few years that I've been telling about silver. So if you went out and you threw a couple $1,000, $2,000 down, $2,500, let's say, on some silver, it's worth double. It's worth $5,000 now. So, that's to be able to double something in a few years out here, legitimately, with no freaking taxes attached to it. Get out of here. Like, that's huge. And it's just begun. Because silver's about to explode. This stuff is manipulated. It has been for a long time. As soon as this kind of reset thing happens here, find out what's really in Fort Knox and all that, and a reevaluation of gold goes down, it's going to go through the roof. It's going to continue. Remember, I was putting it by 2030 at 20,000 easy. Silver's got to catch up this whole time. Silver has been held in a spot out there. And Doug, much love. Thank you for the super chat. That's what we do. Keep it real. And Quantum, always talking about that silver and Silver Sailor and everyone else out there that's big on the silver. I get it. I've been saying it forever and you know it. But check this out. There's 2 resistance zones here. 32 to 33 and 34 to 35. It's like back to back. And it's came up and tapped into this zone, the 33 zone, several times, as you can see here. But it punched up and through right here into this zone. And it's acting like it's wanting to do it again here. What's going to have to happen is silver's going to have to get up above this, and it's going to have to close. It needs to close above resistance. So this resistance becomes support. It needs to close above it, and then it needs to show that it's going to, instead of running up and bouncing off of it, now it's going to be coming down and bouncing off of it going the other way. Once this flippening happens with silver, it's going to go through the roof. Get ready. It's going to be in discovery mode. And that's crazy because, man, this thing could run to $100 an ounce of silver, man. Something stupid. And you couldn't deny it. Everyone would say, well, it was due. It was due. That's where it needs to be. That's what they're all going to say at that point. Silver Sailor. Right on the money. Gifted a 1-month sub. Thank you for that. So, all my silver bugs, gold bugs out there, congratulations. Everything is at like all-time highs, and it looks like it's only going to continue from here. So much love, congratulations. And again, just keep making these moves. There's very few things out there that you can make moves on that are tax-free. If I could mine gold or silver and make some kind of fund, I would. That way we could all invest in it. And it's for us in the community. It would be like, just like a gold or silver fund that we all could invest in that is for us. And it doesn't get pumped and dumped. It's all by us. It's all honest, even. There's no pre-sale, nothing to it. It's for us. Honest. Like, it's so hard to find anything honest out there. The only way that I know to do it would be to do it. Like, let's prove it. Let's show how it needs to be done the right way. That's how I feel about it, honestly. Let's show proof on how to do it. That's why I put a poll up last stream about getting a coin or a project going representing our community, the underground, tokenizing it. And to my surprise, majority said, yeah, they would want to see something like that. Well, I know a lot of people are wanting the knowledge out there. I have people emailing me, asking me about the silver, about the crypto, about the gold, all these investments. Like, I'm not an investment type guru. I'm just like a realist. And I've seen it pretty clearly that gold and silver has been get in wherever. Wherever. If you can get in, get it. Just keep gobbling it up like hungry hippos. Just keep snatching gold and silver up anywhere you see it. You're at a flea market, get it. You're at yard sales and you see some out there, get it. Just snatch it up and throw it to the side. And try to get it as pure as possible, obviously. Especially with the silver. Silver, it will all get melted down in the end. If you're taking it to cash it in or to barter. Someone's going to want to melt it down to get the real value out of it. Just remember that. I don't own mines. That's why I brought up the whole idea of making a token or something like that. Because we can mint it. We can create it now. There is the technology. And we can create a market cap, a market where we all invest in. And it's not pumped and dumped, so to speak. We're sitting here, all these projects I hear pumping, even all your stocks. It doesn't matter what it is. You can call it a crypto, call it a stock. It doesn't matter what it is. People get so spooked about things they don't know. But they should really take the time to educate themselves on what's happening. Because some people are getting left behind. our whole world is transferring into a blockchain environment, in ledger environment. And for people to just sit there and scoff at it, it's just stupid. Like, yeah, there's bad things about it. We've talked about it. But to stick your head in the sand and absolutely ignore it and like not educate yourself on none of it is like the most non-smart thing you could ever do. You should always be trying to take in knowledge and understanding things and understanding where things are going. We've warned about the beast blockchain this whole time, but there's good and bad elements to everything in the technology. Someone, thank you for the coffees. Much love, right back at you, Wyoming. So say we create this stock right here, underground stock, and it's for us here in this community. We can all invest in it, right? There's no pre-sale, meaning that like I'm sitting on 1 million shares, and when it gets up to a point, I'm gonna dump it on y'all. I buy in same price as you. That's as fair as it ever gets. Most won't even do that. Won't even launch a project like that because there's no incentive to make any money off of it like that for them. That's not what this is about. This would be about doing it the right way and representing that. You see? Yeah, I've said it before, and they're going to do it to everything. If you're slacking and you're not seeing what's coming, they're tokenizing everything. What's tokenizing? If you don't know what that is, I explained it last stream. You need to get educated. Okay? Everything is going to have tokenization. And this is where the youth's mind frame needs to be for the future. Right next, thank you for the coffee. California tip jar, much love. The reason I bring up this is because Eric Trump made an announcement and said that American projects are not going to be taxed. This opens the door for you to create something, whether in a stock, called a crypto, whatever. It's the same, going to be on a digital platform being traded. It's the same thing. Except one will be on blockchain, which would be a crypto. But it could be an open blockchain. You see what I'm saying? It's decentralized or centralized. Again, information and knowledge people need to be soaking up and learning the difference of and what all this is. Now, if you do this and you create something, you create a wealth for the community that, I don't know, get up to $50,000, $100,000 market caps. And it's something that represents the community that you're part of. And if it gets there, guess what? You can sell yours at any time. You can cash out off the top whenever. You can do it whenever. A whale comes through and pumps it. Well, who am I to tell you not to do anything? That could be a blessing from God. We created a stock and a whale comes through and pumps it to $1 million. That could have been all of y'all's one ticket. But no, you wanted to sit over there and scoff at it because you didn't understand it. Fools, man. There's opportunity sitting out here, okay? And I told you, when they announce that something is tax-free, an American project, you should be all over it, okay? And if we were to create something where American-made, last I checked, it should be tax-free. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So anything that we do, anything that you invest in and make money in, you pay no taxes on. I could have never told you that before. Now I can. And that's an opportunity is what it is. Tiffany, thank you for the coffee. Blessings. Do you understand? It is an opportunity to be involved in something, an investment, and it be tax-free. Just saying, you have to get it while the getting is good or get left behind. You're watching these young dudes out here on X and on social media making $1 million in a day. Like, you better get with it or just keep slaving the rest of your life. You give your kids no advantage, no opportunity. Like, I don't get it. Like, there's chances out there We should be making the most of everything we could do, is how I feel about it. We're out of time. I ain't no spring chicken. I ain't getting any younger. We're out of time. And I ain't promised tomorrow myself. Again, this isn't about me. When this idea comes to mind, because I'm me, I feel I'm the perfect person to do it like this, because you have to be righteous, and no one is out there that I see. Like I said, every single person that launches a project like this would do it with the incentive of having 1 million coins already stuffed in the pocket in the left. That's why they all do it. Not me. I'll be right there at the beginning, buy them right at the gate at the same price as you. You understand? Because that's how it needs to be done. Again, you're setting an example with it. Is what you're doing. And look at this. Look at this here. Trump family reportedly talking about buying the arm of Binance. They are looking to flex out on this whole thing. And I'm telling you, it's making millionaires every day. It's, again, I don't know. I've never seen in my life the opportunity that I do now for anyone to buy and sell anything, gold, silver, or American projects, and it be tax-free. I don't know how long this lasts. This may only last during the Trump years or whatever, you know. But I know it's going into effect now, and you should take advantage of it. What do we have here? Oh boy. You remember on Monday? Well, let's take it back a month ago. A lot further than that. I kept telling you that the Fed was going to do something huge with their payment systems on March 10th. Then I updated and I told you that they're sunsetting the whole rollout between now and January or July 14th of this summer, where it's going to go into full-fledged effect. And what does this mean? It's their cross-border payment system. What is this? This is like their Cbdc that Trump told you he wasn't going to do, but then turned around and gave you blockchain with the other hand. Remember? So this is how it's being pushed in the United States, okay? Listen to me clearly. You were caught up to speed with where all this is? They threw the whole Trump crowd a bone, said, oh, you don't like the word Cbdc? Here's an executive order, go chew on this. And they gave them the blockchain with the other hand. They sure did. They sure did. Black magic, buffaloed them. They should be damn embarrassed and pissed off when they think about it. What they've done to them. Well, now, look at this. It's what they call the Genius Bill. Pay attention. What are they doing? It's called the Genius Stablecoin Bill. And what it's doing is it's taking all these stablecoins that are pegged to what? The US dollar. And promoting them large. Large. Why? Because it's the digital dollar. On blockchain. So since you didn't want to accept, they didn't accept it over here with the Cbdc thing, he threw them the bone. He gave them the blockchain anyway with the very next right hook. All right? And now they're coming out with this bill, rolling it out. Even the banks are pushing back. And why would the banks be pushing back? Because the banks know the end is near. When all this goes into effect, traditional banks will no longer be needed. When there's no cash to go into a bank to get out, there's no reason to even go in it. This will be a whole nother service eliminated. Jobs eliminated. You wonder why they're freaking out. You wonder why JP Morgan Chase just cashed out all of his damn chips. Jamie Dimon did. Writing's on the wall. A whole reset is about to happen. I told you before, when this reset goes down and it's all digital dollar, the days of robbing a bank are over. Seriously, you're crossing the Rubicon. You're going into a whole new era. This is what we're about to do. We're transitioning into right now. Whole new era. This will be the things of the past. The movies. You'll be able to say you lived through it. Okay? This is it. So they pushed this. They just passed this in the Senate Banking Committee in an 18-6 vote. What this does is it puts huge backing behind all U.S. denominated stable coins. okay? Which is a digital dollar. Which means this could be the same thing that they send to your digital wallet when they freeze all the accounts up. It doesn't matter what it is, and it doesn't. I tried to tell you this before. It doesn't matter if it's USDC, if it's USDT, if it's PayPal DT. It doesn't matter what the freak it is. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's all the same. It's all the exact same, but with a different name. It's it. Enigma 77, thank you for the coffees. It's all on blockchain. And that's all that matters. It's all the exact same thing, just with a different name. It's an exact replica. It's all connected to the beast blockchain. And I say that because it's not good people running it. You could run this whole show and have blockchain involved and it not be horrendous. But since you've got evil people stripping your privacy in the end and controlling you, it's the end game here with all this. All the stable coins are on blockchain and Ledger. There's no way around it. You're in the era. Okay? Now, tokenization. I told you earlier, it's going to happen with everything. Absolutely everything. How many items a place sold. Everything. Every bit of information can be sent via token. Your airline tickets that you buy, they could send them to you. Oh, I've got some stuff here. I'm going to show you here by the end of the stream. I'm going to show you just how much tokenization can be used, and it's going to be used all over the place. Yeah, gold sevenfold. But no, this is it. This is it. They got the crowd to bite and accept blockchain with any buck back, the way they just did it, Black Magic style. Okay? Pushing a bill behind it, and they're like, okay, then this is it. We're serving them up stable coins. They don't know the difference. Idiots. That's what they're saying. That's what they're thinking. Of course they are. Puffing off the cigar like we got them. We got them. It's scary. They're playing the people that bad. And I got to sit here and decipher it and break it down. And some of the Trumpers of it still can't see it. I see it plain as day what it all is. They still can't see it. And I'm just like, man, maybe this is no hope for you. I don't know. Look, when the knowledge is there and being explained clearly in front of you, I think you don't want to accept it. Just go on to your beast blockchain. Because I know that's where you're going anyway. So, the Gentile Messiah comes out with another one, and I'm sure everyone's going to be like, yeah, this is great. Trump says he's going to eliminate taxes for people earning under $150,000 a year. That's like all of us. Right? Like, we're all poor. Gabriel says, I'm not doing anything digital. Brother, everything, you got a bank? You got a bank card? You're already digital. I don't understand that. I don't understand so many people out there that say that. Acting like you're not going to do none of this part. You talk all this, but you're already digital. How are you paying all your bills? Doing all your stuff? Everything is already there. Look, I get what you're saying, though, to the point. We need another word. Because digital blockchain is different than just digital. Right? It is. We'll just call it that, digital blockchain. Because the blockchain is the difference. Which is true. We're not on it, but we are digital. Yeah, the driver's license switching up, real ID, all that stuff. It's yeah, it's good, bad, and the ugly, man. It's a double-edged sword. What do you do? I mean, what are you going to say to this? Trump comes out and says, I'm going to do away with taxes on you. What are you going to say, no? Most people are going to say yes, like for sure. Like this is a good one. So I call him out for stuff. We'll give him props. for stuff. If you can do this, I'm sure a lot of people are going to love this. But I can't help but think that you're getting this somewhere else. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're paying for all the tariffs. I forgot, yeah. So it makes sense. You're just trying to soften it up a little bit right now because we're all paying out the nose for everything. The tariffs affect us. You know, when they come out, and again, it's black magic on the masses, on his crowd that doesn't seem to get it, that doesn't seem to comprehend what a tariff is, that we are the ones paying for it. Again, when we want to have this conversation, you don't want to say a word. It's crickets. You turn around and run the other way. I mean, all these major topics, it's getting pathetic. That's why I said I'm cutting ties with these other cats. And screw, I don't care who they are. Anyone that chooses to not hold this Trump train and the whole Trump thing accountable, I know you voted for it. I know, we all know you had to pick this over Biden. I'm not harping on that. I'm harping on your lack of calling out the Gentile Messiah for the crap they're doing, or even talking about it. They deflect so bad. It pains me because there's some people out there that I really like and that I consider friends and everything else. And I'm just like, you know what? The warrior in me, the spirit from the Most High Jesus is telling me to look, that I could tell them by their fruits. And I'm not seeing it out of you. And it's disappointing. I see you fronting and faking when you're supposed to be the big patriot. Fighting this fight, you took the easy way out. Snapping pictures out there all at the rallies and all this like it's all some big cool thing. Big disappointment is what it is. But you show me your true colors and what you're about. So, it's what it is, right? People come and they go. Most people go when they can't take the truth anymore. They can't when they choose to stay in the shell and not accept it. They get pissed. Now, people get pissed when they do accept it too. You can't lie. When you find some disturbing things out and you accept it as reality, you start to get pissed. It's only human nature, right? It's only right. You get angry. Don't get angry at me. I'm just telling you. But often that happens. You know how many times people come back and thank me, though, and apologize for cussing me and all this other stuff, but then seeing it clearly, I guess later. Like, you know, he was right. Even though I voted for Trump. You know, that's what they say. I hear it, but some people reach out. Some people do wake up. It's refreshing to see. It's not as many as I would like, but we don't reach as many people as I'd like either. Constantly censored. I mean, pay attention to my streams over on YouTube. All my streams do are get batted down the entire stream. They climb up to like 1,500 and they'll knock it back down to like where it's at 12. They climb up to 13 and they'll just knock it down to 1,000. Like, they cut people like hundreds off in seconds. That's when you're heavily censored. It happens to me. You don't see this happen to the shills. Again. Oh, Benny here. I'm going to play a clip here of Benny. I'm not promoting Benny. Don't know nothing about Benny. I just know that Benny, again, gets promoted and shilled while a bunch of other truthers don't, which I question. And he makes big money. How's all this possible? How? I think you know how. I don't even have to explain it. And see, these things are obvious to me. That's why when I see cats like this, when you ask me, like, oh, do you like this Ben dude? Like, no, not really. He just doesn't pass the smell test right at the gate, the vibe test. When you're a real cat out here, that's been out here doing it for decades, and you feel the repercussions of it daily, and you see cats just spring out into the open, you know the difference. I've seen it one too many times, but it doesn't mean that some cats out here can't cover some things and do some decent work. I'm gonna play this clip though, and I don't buy another. I'm playing this clip so that you can hear what this rep has to say, and what he ends up saying in the end, where I'm gonna pause it, says it all. okay, on where this whole thing is going. Okay, let me preface it. What they're talking about here is Act Blue. And they're talking about all this money, all this stuff, all these atrocities that have been discovered going through Act Blue. You know, similar to the whole US aid thing here and all the stuff that Elon's doing. Well, they try to say quite a few different things here in terms of what they're going to do to try to go after the bad guys, right? Because I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for somebody to go to jail, for like them to prosecute somebody. But this rep right here, he says we're gonna go after him the same way we did Biden's. And I'm like, hold on. Last I checked, they all walked scot-free. So if that's the case, I don't want to hear this.
Chairman Comer, I got to tell you, man, this thing is just rotten. It's just rotten. I don't know if we have the direct evidence just yet, but man, you sure can put the pieces together and say that Act Blue must be one of the largest money laundering organs this side of the Biden family.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly how we're going to investigate this. The same way we investigated the Bidens. We're starting with the suspicious activity reports. These are the bank violations that if anyone commits a financial crime, the banks will catch it. I come from a banking background, and I can tell you there are extensive security measures in place. The banks have auditors, they have compliance officers, they have bank examiners. They catch suspicious activity. And especially if it's on a large scale and lots of different transactions. So what I tried to do, this was back during last summer.
Well, then they should have all the information busting all these people that were spending money on government credit cards or debit cards and all this stuff. Again, no one's been arrested.
Summer was request the suspicious activity reports from Janet Yellen in the Biden administration, and they would not reply to my request. We knew that Act Blue was getting just a ridiculous amount of money going through. Heck, my opponent that I beat by 50 points raised, several $100,000 on Act Blue, and she had zero chance. If you ranked the races from 1 to 435, that wouldn't rank in the top 400 as having the potential to win. But she was still getting all these mysterious donations. And you had House candidates that 80% of their campaign budget came from anonymous small dollar donors on Act Blue. So we smelled something. Obviously, it came out what Rubio said, that they weren't using the code on the back of the credit card. That allowed for fraud. It just didn't make sense. Like the interviewer, like the woman that was interviewed on that clip that had $180,000 worth of donations. So we requested these violations. They wouldn't give them to us. After the election, then Janet Yellen let a few of my staffers go in there, and they said, yes, there are several hundred suspicious activity reports from various banks. We got to go in and look at 12. And I can tell you they were bad. They were what we suspected. And we've requested to see more. They cut us off. Obviously, they were involved in the transition and all that. Now we've got a new Treasury Secretary. We're supposed to go in there in the next week or so and examine them all.
Okay, in the next week or so, and examine them all. Okay. I'll keep you up to speed with this. I'm just, again, it's all talk. Ain't no one going down. Ain't no one going to jail. Nothing. It's the biggest exposure of fraud in history disguised as transparency. It truly is. It's black magic. It's all this is. At some point, you're going to have to realize you're dealing with witches and wizards. High scale. It's no joke. It's what it is. Florian, thank you for the PayPal. Appreciate it to the fullest. And Enigma, Tiffany, Rain, someone for the coffees. Much love. Where we at here? 10:30. Still plenty to cover. Gonna keep it pushing. D. White and House. Much love, my brother. Right. Looks like we've had Doge before. Yeah, looks like we've had Doge before, apparently. And this was through Obama. Oddly enough, can you believe who was in charge of Doge under the Obama regime? Joe Biden. I guess that's why nothing ever got done. But this is crazy, because when you look back, it was from 2011, Barack Obama was pushing this campaign to cut waste thing, and he was talking about all this stuff, but he put cutting all this stuff on Joe Biden. It was like his job. And, let's see here.
Everyone knows that getting rid of the deficit will require some tough decisions. And that includes cutting back on billions of dollars in programs that a lot of people care about. But what should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody. Waste we should be getting rid of, even if we didn't have a deficit. Sure, some of these cuts aren't that big, but no amount of waste is acceptable. Not when it's your money. Not at a time when so many Americans are already cutting back. Just as families are living within their means, government should too. Did you know the federal government pays for a website devoted to a folk music ensemble made up of forest rangers? They're called the Fiddlin' Foresters. I'll put their music on my iPod, but I'm not paying for their website. And there are hundreds of similar sites that we should consolidate or just get rid of. By the way, you're not only paying for websites no one needs, you're paying for thousands of buildings all across the country no one uses. For the last decade, the government's owned a massive and completely empty warehouse in the middle of Brooklyn, for example. Now, the government hadn't been able to sell this building and others like it because of red tape and Washington politics that held things up for years. But we're finally cutting through all that and plan to get rid of these buildings in the month.
Boy, you could just replace him with Trump, and it's like, what the? I mean, forget that it's Obama, but like the words, what he's saying, every single thing that they're pushing, the whole agenda is like a carbon copy. Not to the scale, I will say, with eyes on it. They've made way much more of a deal out of it this time. With dubbing it Doge and bringing Elon in, and Elon's brought up a lot of attention. I think he loves it. He relishes in it. It's all he thrives for at this point. What more can he achieve being the world's richest man? Like, he's all about. These guys are so full of themselves, man. They're so full of their egos. And all that, it's scary. It's a dangerous place we're in right now. So this non-elected dude has been given the keys to go through every single thing in our government and come out telling us, oh, they found corruption everywhere. But yet not a single person going to jail. These are the same guys that it's been almost 3 weeks now, right? Since they said, oh, we're going to Fort Knox, we're going in there with cameras and blah, blah, blah. What? Like, we're still waiting. We're still waiting. Like, week after week. When days turn into weeks now, it's getting ready to go turn into months. Watch. I don't trust it. I don't trust none of it. But Mr. Dark MAGA, Mr. Neuralink, Elon Musk says that he will not cut Social Security or Medicare the way that they took it. He he said these things. It was taken out of context. He was saying that he was going to go in, he was going to cut like everywhere else, any crazy stuff that they found, any crazy spending, but not shutting it down, not cutting it for the American people are going to suffer. Like you're not going to get your Social Security, not like that. But that's how it was spun. So they wanted to clear that up. Now, we've seen a lot of protest erupt. And look, man, I'm someone that's taken to the streets, and I've watched these protests for a lot of years. I've ran into all these groups, their leadership, tracked down paid protesters, city after city after city. And you have a right to protest. That's something that can never be lost in this. And Arma, thank you for the coffees. Yes, in the comment. Much love, me turn it down. Of course, any opposition to Trump at this point, they're calling left, right? Because he's so far right. He's right. He represents the right side of this whole thing, of how they're pushing the left-right paradigm. So largely, they call these groups that go out and protest left-wing. I'm not so sure about that. Because I know that some of these aspects are paid off, and we know this. I've shown you. Paid protesters, even on the last stream. Dude had the thing around his neck, standing out in the street. He admitted, yeah, I'm being paid and this and that. But he was raw and he was real with his comments. Some people are out there bucking back because they don't trust it. Now, you have to be careful what you're doing. People are going to different levels out there. Like I said before, the Tesla dealerships have been getting shot up. But there's like some empathy toward life there from the people doing it, because they're not doing it while, it's packed full of people. They're like, closed after hours. They're shooting up an empty building. But they're doing it as a statement, not to hurt anyone. If it crosses that line and people get hurt and injured from, say, a drive-by shooting on Tesla, it's a whole different animal then. So, over the years, I've seen this headline used several times, but it's used, here it comes again. These protests that you're seeing out there, they're mostly peaceful, but fiery. They said that in Ferguson. They said that when I went up to, was that Milwaukee? Yeah. Went up there and they're burning everything down. I went up to Milwaukee to cover some stuff because I was sitting here and watching the feeds, and it was popping off in Milwaukee at the time over some riots and got a shooting or something at the moment. But Tim Pool went up there and he disrespected, and they knocked him out for it. Literally. And sent him packing. And we didn't know what was going on in there, really. Because other streamers didn't go. He said he would take that one, I guess. He went up there to get all the footage and all this. When he went up there, he disrespected. He got checked. I got to look at trying to look at a map here. See exactly what towns and cities we were in. I don't know if it's going to load for me. No, we was in Milwaukee. I've been to Minnesota too. I've covered several things up there too, but this was in Milwaukee. And it was like going down. I met some dude. that run the streets up there. And he was like famous, like Jordan, Michael Jordan famous, like up there. And he listens to the streams and stuff. So he hit me up, Frank Nitty. He hit me up and was like, yo, like, snatch me up. Let's ride. So I came up there. I drove up there. I'd never met him before. Met Frank Nitty, Milwaukee. He took me everywhere. He treated me like a king. And took me right into the heart of the hood, where the cops wouldn't even go. All that. Heat of the night, all that. Every night. And they treated me like a king. I was mad respect. I didn't have my camera out the whole time, like disrespecting them neither. But when the time came, when they all got to the park and they were down there and they were doing their thing and they were talking, and it was time for them to say their thing, they yelled for me. I felt it's kind of like an honor. Like, that's cool. Like they believed in me. Yeah, they gave me that pass up there. And was like, this is the real one. And they were like, roll the camera. I got it rolling, went live, and I let them speak what they had to say. And it's a respect thing, man. I'll never forget that, though, because they're pretty pissed off about Poole. I don't know what he did, what he said exactly, but it was because that happened. It took me up there. When I got up there, the buildings were burning. They were on fire. Gas station was about to blow up. It was on flames. It was up in flames. And they ran this exact same headline. They said, "Oh, mostly peaceful up there, but fiery." And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, it got chaotic, like crazy chaotic. It gets so bad up there that in the heart of downtown, there's like a 4 or 5 block radius or something. In the heart of it, like the cops won't even enter. They just drive circles around it from like the outside, and they're in there shooting craps, doing their thing, just hanging out. But it's cool because I don't know. The cops have been my biggest enemy out there during these events. To be honest with you, the police beating me down, throwing loaded guns in my face, hitting me with all kinds of chemical warfare agents. Different sprays, smokes, mists, tactical weapons, different noise stuff, different stingrays stripping all of our equipment. You name it. They've hit me with out there. Like, it's nuts. But even through it all, like, the people have a right to protest. You can never lose sight of that. Whether it was BLM or this and that, yes, things shouldn't get to the violent. I never promote the violent part because I know there's power in your numbers. You don't need the violence. I've seen it with my own eyes. When enough people come out and to stand there, the number speaks for itself. Okay? I've been moving through full cities, man. Hordes of people. Everything. Cops were fighting against these people, like front lines and all this, but all of a sudden the numbers overwhelm them. And guess what? The cops are now on their bikes, are moving ahead of the crowd, going down the streets, blocking off the intersection for the people. It's something you got to live to see, I guess, or experience. It's an overwhelming moment when the front line of cops that were supposed to be fighting and pushing back on protesters gets overwhelmed and taken over. They have no choice but to do their job, like go ahead and clear intersections for the group. They end up working for the group in a way. It's crazy. I don't know. I guess when I see these stories, though, my main thing is like we've got to preserve our right to protest, even though it's getting hectic out here and some crazy things are happening.
overnight have this post claiming that protests at Tesla dealerships are illegal. He said today he would label violence against dealerships domestic terrorism. Now, you know I am judicious in how I play this sound, but I think you need to hear it from him.
Mr. President talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. Let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to any company, we're going to catch you and you're going to go through hell.
So just to be clear.
Okay. Trump gave an answer before the question can even be presented. That's how staged it is. And that's how off he was. Okay? Before the guy could even get the whole thing out, even half of it, Trump already had the answer. And said, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then just dropped this whole preloaded spiel. And used Elon as an example. Anyone wants to go after him, we're going to catch him, we're going to get him. And what did he say yeah to? Yeah, I'm going to do it. He's going to do what? He's going to label them domestic terrorists. The Gentile Messiah is labeling people domestic terrorists. So left or right, my warning to you is, this could one day be you, your offspring, fighting against the beast. And this is what has begun. This is what will all be labeled. Against the beast. You see, once things like this are put in motion, you know, say Trump comes and goes, they put another Biden in there or something else, it swings the other way. They tried to use this, they set the stage for left and all, nobody cared because it was left. But then they came for the right. Then what? See, some people can only sit there and do nothing for so long. Something's going to have to give. Anyhow, I salute grassroots protests. But that's about it. You know, obviously the George Soros paid crap is all organized and it's gone against, it largely went against our freedoms. It's worked against us, and that's what it was designed to do. But we see it for what it is. Can't confuse the two. But again, you have to have a healthy dose. Because if they take your freedoms right now because of them and you didn't care, the day you choose to hit the streets, you're not going to be able to. See what I'm saying? You can't allow them to use this excuse on one side because it can come back to haunt you. But yeah, hey, much love, crypto. I didn't realize. I'll check into that after the stream if you can just send me a link on my email. It makes it easiest. Much love. So they're trying to say that some of these protests are organized and coordinated, and that they're talking about this anti-Israel Jews. So they're admitting that they're Jews, and the whole for Palestine movement, which there's a couple different ones, and one was being pushed back by Soros, but there's a couple different ones, and he doesn't have connections into all of it, or all of them. I don't know, man. I just see him setting the stage here for, the whole domestic terrorist thing. I've warned about it for a long time. And here's old Bondi. Gee. Did you guys see the image that I dropped tonight? It's the old Bill Murray Groundhog Day. Here we are again. Another day. Again. No Epstein files. I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore in some of this. Like JFK files, Epstein files, come on. These clowns get in there and you actually thought they were going to give you something special. They threw you a redacted stack of papers that, what was crazy is some of the stuff that they gave us that was redacted was already out there unredacted. So it was that much garbage. And then Kash Patel just came out and did the same thing. He's like, oh yeah, there's some minor redacting in there, in this net. So what all is redacted is all the FBI agents' names, all the field agents' names, or any connections to implicate them in anything. But whose names are given up in there now are their snitches. They're people like that, informants. They give them up. See, and they separate it. But in the meantime, like, I don't care what Bondi's got to say here. I really don't. There's nothing she's going to come out and say or do at this point, ever, until she comes out with and drops the goods. Like the goods, and like big names, high-profile cats start to go down, like we know they should, connected to this. If she doesn't, well, she's doing nothing more than just covering up a Mossad operation. And that's who's in full control of the Trump administration at this point, if you can't tell. Trump tucks the chair in underneath nobody but BP. Yeah. Listen to this. These were boos for J.D. Vance tonight as he entered a concert hall at the Kennedy Center. Some dude openly yells, "Kill the vice," and like, this, it's kind of crazy. Like, make sure the volume's up here.
Kill that light!
Yells, "Kill the vice." That's just openly. So, I'm sure that dude got escorted out of there by some agents, or he got stopped before he got out of there. But I mean, all kinds of people were cheering him on and booing Vance. So Trump turns his guns on Thomas Massey. Who's Thomas Massey? He's a rep here out of Kentucky. And largely was going along with the whole Trump thing. You know, this was part of this whole all-star thing. But he decides to say, you know, I'm going against the grain here on this one. I'm gonna vote against what Trump wants here. With this whole CR, continuing resolution. It funds the government through September 30th. There was all kinds of stuff in it, and he didn't want it, and he spoke up against it. And because he spoke a difference of opinion, Trump pointed at him and was like, execute him, basically. Like, take him out. And then who comes in? This large Jewish group vows to help take out Massey for Trump. So all these people come to Massey's rescue, donate like $200,000 in donations, like in case he tries to oust him, this and that. But they're like, you know, he can speak his mind and vote the other way without getting a threat of getting taken out. But it's like with this administration, so much power being wielded here by Trump. It's like, if you dare go against what the Gentile Messiah says, you're on the chopping block. And they did pass this this bill to avoid a shutdown, which is always a spectacle. It's always a show, if you ask me. It's all a show, man. But much love, Silver Sailor. I'm gonna play this clip. This is of Schumer just calling the people bastards live on air.
To have the conflict on the best ground we have, summed up in a sentence, that they're making the middle class pay for tax cuts for billionaires, it's much, much better not to be in the middle of a shutdown, which would divert people from the number one issue we have against these bastards, these people, which is not only all these cuts, but they're ruining democracy.
Couldn't help himself. Just had to let it go. Well, the FBI under Kash Patel is now saying they're investigating an alarming rise in what they call SWATs. Okay? Now, if you've been following me, you'll be familiar with this because you know that I've had this exact thing happen to me. And ain't good. Other people in other situations. Well, let me back this up. The other night, I reported on this. This InfoWars reporter got killed, got murdered. Jamie White. Okay? We're still trying to get answers to that, but he was murdered. Well, then all of a sudden, all these conservative content creators, as they call them, that's what they try to call me, I guess, as well. Chase Geyser, Nick Sorter, Gunther Ekelman, some of these people I can't stand, Cat Turd, all part Trump trainers is how I see it. Call them Trump trainers. And Trump impersonator Sean Farash, apparently all these people were hit with SWATs, which is a large group. So it's a fake or prank phone call to the emergency services saying something. And as they did on the Sean Farash, they said that there was a murder at the house and all this. But, the cops showed up. And in these situations, didn't show up guns blazing. They showed up calm, level-headed, and talked to all the people. And, no one was shot and killed. But that's what's going on with these SWATs. I don't know, the whole murder the other night, and then the stuff, and then I don't know, man. I don't trust Alex Jones. Like I just don't, and never have. I just don't. He's always been about creating something, and never letting a crisis go to waste. So, I just found it peculiar that as soon as this dude's killed, all of a sudden he comes out with the story, oh yeah, Mike Flynn has called me and told me that there's a contracted hit out on me. It's like, oh yeah, how'd Mike Flynn know this? And if they know that, they know all this stuff, how come there's not more of an investigation? And look, I've been around this dude for so long, I've been seeing this crap. I've seen him set up a staged rumble with Cenk Uygur. Back at the 2016 thing. Oh, man. And it was all for clickbait and all this other stuff. So many times I had to call him out for that stuff. Anyhow, I saw just the timing of it. The timing of, oh, there's a contract out on your head now. And it's like, so many times I've watched him bring on these former, Steve Bujeniks, and as far as I'm concerned, dudes that are still on the Beast payroll, just shilling stuff, and all these dudes connected to Israel. Yeah. Speaking of Stratford and the connections to InfoWars, they're right down the road from them. They're in Texas. Well, let me I'm going to play this clip here real quick. It's a quick one of Trump responding to this auto pen thing, because he uses auto pen too, but apparently someone has done this like criminally, like large scale. I told you, like, we have proof that Biden was on the golf course in some of these instances. Some of these things were signed, and they were definitely all signed by auto pen. Carrie Ray, much love. Thank you for the coffee.
Take a look at he signs by AutoPen. Who is signing all this stuff by AutoPen? Who would think you sign important documents by AutoPen? You know, these are major documents you're signing. You're proud to sign them. You have your signature on something. In 300 years, they say, oh, look, can you imagine? Everything was signed by AutoPen. Almost everything. Nobody's ever heard of such a thing. So, should have never happened.
Well, and when he starts to speak on things like this, there's chances that something could come of it. But again, what is he going to do to Biden? Nothing. Nothing. Like, he never did anything to Hillary, never did anything to Gates, and had him right in his freaking living room. Get out of here. I'm sick of this puppet show. It's time that these cats that rode the Trump train, it's time. All right, we get it. You had to vote for Trump against Kamala, but we're past that. It's time you start holding this dude accountable, straight up. And you need to, like, pick a side. Like, you're either on the real side, the true side of the people that's not afraid to call things out, or you're, like, on the wrong side, which is the side that's afraid to even talk about any of these topics when they get tough, which is garbage. Let's talk Greenland. Greenland and Panama is something Trump, like, wants to go after and has his sights set on. Greenland doesn't want to be American. They don't want to be a part of this. But this seems to me to be a big play for a North American Union. Because what could end up happening here is he keeps saying Canada's going to be the 51st state. Okay, he keeps saying it, and he's serious about this. And he's serious about Greenland. You can throw all this underneath one military and economic umbrella, and you call it a union. And the states still keep their sovereignty. Canadians are Canadians. Greenlanders are Greenlanders. Okay? But you're still one, just like the European Union. Do you see? You see what they're doing? This has been the plan for a long time. And here comes Trump at the forefront, using excuses, as I see it, like natural resources needed for national security purposes and all this stuff, to even make these moves. But who's going to stop him? Well, I'm here to tell you what's really going on with it. I think that that's the route that it's going to go. They're never going to give up their independence and any of that. But look at this. Trump is actually asking the military to draw up options for retaking the Panama Canal. That if there's going to be any arguments to people buying stuff or transferring power over and eliminating the Chinese out of it, they're literally going to use military force in the Panama Canal. Like, you could see, I don't even know what you'd see come out of that. I don't see China just backing down and walking away out of the area. There's like flashpoints building up. And China, not Russia, and obviously they're at the top of the list here of being the bad guys. They're going to blame any other nation for something against America. Keep it pushing here. Hegseth reviewing the military. He says we want no fats and we want no hippies. And they're trying to strengthen back up the military. But I wouldn't let no seed of mine go fight for this beast to go continue on the whole crap of going to another country, killing innocent people, when you know full well now that our country created ISIS and Al Qaeda and all this other. You should know there's high corruption in our own country, and that's the problem. So, oh yeah, just turn a blind cheek to it. Just let your children sign up and go join the beast that you know is a problem. Like this, oh my gosh. Yeah, wow. If some of these people that took an oath to protect this country, foreign and domestic, if they actually did it, we'd be in a better position. So, the Marine Corps is admitting that they're damaged because of Ukraine. All the weapons, all the everything that's been sent, it's depleted them. They're not ready. So if we need them, and you hear these things when they need more money, but you got to admit that the Biden administration damaged our military pretty darn bad. Throughout lockdowns and the whole Biden regime, they did a number on it. I don't know, man. They're saving money in a lot of other places. The world's a stage. I'm just at a point to where, if you want to look at it like, yeah, we need money for war, like defensively and things like that, yeah. But like, got money for war, but can't feed the poor. What's the excuse for not feeding poor if the Gentile Messiah gets this peace going everywhere on all these fronts, and there's no more war, major war at all? Huh? Well, war's a moneymaker. And you have to understand that that's why Russia's been on one side, the United States on the other this whole time. They are the two biggest war machine makers. They are. Just look at it. They always have been. Russia supplies one type and one style of weaponry, and the United States a different that they create through all their contractors like Raytheons and stuff like that. So they're different. You can look at them on the battlefield and look at them. They look different, but both got missiles, both got some nukes, both got hypersonics at this point, in high weaponry. To me, oh my gosh, and Ren, thank you for the coffees and the support. That is so huge. To the fullest. Much love, God bless. To me, NATO isn't anything without us. Well, NATO is just like Europe. It's just like Europe. We've been, as I've shown before, the big military muscle and financial muscle. If you remove us from that, they're on their own. And what's their beef with Russia, really? You keep trying to pick this fight with them. What's your beef? If Russia wanted you dead, you'd be dead, is how I see it. Because Russia keeps them alive every winter. Gas and oil. Keeps the heat on, keeps them alive. It's no secret at this point. And to me, it's like a curtain drop moment. It's like, okay, you want to act like you're ready to go to World War III and use nukes on these people that are keeping you alive throughout get out of here. Like, I'm sick with the shenanigans. Like, it's done. Like, this whole world's a stage. And literally, that's why they call them theaters of war. It looks like Ukraine, the theater there, may be coming to a close, or the closing chapters. But if you don't know who Rudd here is the head of NATO. And he says that NATO membership is off the table for Ukraine. So Zelensky can get over this crap. At the same time they're trying to talk peace, Zelensky continues to strike like deep into the city and almost hits Trump's envoy. Trump's envoy was in Moscow when they just attacked it with all these drones and hit all these buildings. And he's just like, what? Like, like, these guys are idiots, is how they're looking at them. And they're saying that Ukraine's Kursk blunder opens the door for Russia to invade all the way through the north. Literally, take an avenue all the way through the north, all the way to Kiev. Because they got them on the run. And that's why Putin's been hesitant right now with this truce stuff. See, Trump confirms there's talks with them ongoing. And Russia says they're ready for a ceasefire. They're ready for this. But there's contingencies. And those contingencies, these demands, just to achieve a 30-day ceasefire, are basically that, like, look, we're not doing this to go right back into war. Because if that's the case, we're going to blow you out of the water. It's basically what he's saying. This isn't so Ukraine can go over here and lick the wounds, regroup, send more weapons in, remobilize, and no. Because he's saying this is nothing more than a timeout for Ukraine if that's the case. He says he wants real peace negotiations talked, and I believe that they're going to go there. Because huge announcements are about to be made with Russia. Trump's already said it. He let it out of the bag. He posted it on Truth Social. If you're ever going to find anything that's like coming from like him off the cuff, it's going to come right there. That's his own tailor-made little site. Well, Zelensky lashes out at Putin in this whole thing. It's because he's obsolete at this point. They're pushing on without him. Trump's doing the negotiating on behalf of the whole Ukraine and West, pretty much. And Zelensky's just like having a hissy fit over it. Like, get out of here, dude. I don't never want to see you again. Okay? So Putin officially calls for all Ukrainians to surrender. They've got them surrounded. Most of the troops that literally ran, left all their equipment behind. They've got them. And they're telling everybody, just surrender. We're going to try to stop this thing right now. Everyone surrender. We're bringing this thing to a pause. Trump's even allowed a waiver on the Biden-era Russia sanctions to expire. You're seeing moves here that he dropped all the cyber attacking that was being launched against Russia. They stopped all that. He's making concessions here. He's doing things that I think are going to appease Russia, and I think that huge announcements are going to be made on the other side of this. Once this is wrapped up, because you can't do nothing without this getting wrapped up. Once this is in the bag, finally, you're going to hear right on top of it, like a cherry on top, all these announcements of deals with Russia, the United States and Russia, U.S.-Russia, U.S.-Russia, U.S.-Russia. It's what it's going to be. It's what's coming. And we're going to be probably getting gas, oil, all this other stuff, largely from Russia as well. Huge deals are going to be announced. In the meantime, though, Putin does issue a warning. He says if he catches mercenaries in there, like Blackwater, Eric Prince style, Maidon, anywhere in there, trying to flip the script or up to anything, that they're done. He just puts a bold warning out there, like, don't even try it. Like, this is either a real deal truce or it's not. And if we catch any mercenary groups in there fiddling around, they're getting smoked. And then Trump, he backpedals on all of his comments about Gaza, like going in and cleaning it out and all that. He caught so much backlash, they quit talking about it, because that's all they really got to do at this point is shift the focus somewhere else, drop another new headline for something else, and get the crowd looking over there. So now he's backpedaling on the controversial plan. He's saying that no one is expelling anyone from Gaza, trying to take that route and trying to cover when it's obviously clear. He made it bold that they could never go back. They can never go back. They can't go back. He said it clearly. Why can't they go back? He said people can't live there. But yet he's going to sit there and flip it and turn it into a Riviera. A beautiful Riviera. And then send them to some camps in Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and elsewhere. Send them to camps, literally. Expel them out of their lands. So, you can see right here, the former head of Mossad welcomes chaos in Syria. So when you see Syria falling apart, this is all by design, and you know it is, and it has been. When you see Damascus get ripped apart, it's because they did it, and they wanted it that way, and they know it's biblical. They know it's biblical. Update here real quick on all the immigration detention facilities are at max capacity. Can you believe this? All the detention facilities that we've got holding the immigrants are packed. Now, look at this story. What's going on? They're saying every illegal alien criminal in Guantanamo Bay has been moved out. And that ISIS releasing illegal alien criminals arrested by Tom Homan. It's like, hold on, what's going on here? But that's what's happening. There's a whole story in itself. You can find it over on Gateway Pundit if you want to dive into it. In this one, I'll finish with this, and then I'm going to show some UFO stuff here to take us out of here. But there's a new app that allows you to download the app and report illegals in real time down at the border and get paid off in ICE raid bucks, pretty much. It's like a currency that they're pushing. And it could be anything at this point. It's tokens, if you will, coins that you can redeem for real money. Just like any cryptocurrency. This is called ICE raid. And people can literally sit there at the border, and if they see people coming across, they can film it or take pictures and send it to them in real time. I guess teams can then get dispatched, and these people earn money or earn these ICE raids in doing this. That's through this new app on reporting illegals in real time that they've rolled out. And I'll finish with this here before I give some final thoughts. I'm going to play this clip. It's a small piece, and this is a commercial in the age of disclosure here, talking about non-human intelligent life, that it's here. And this is what you're going to see more and more of. This is part of disclosure, what I call soft disclosure. It's happening right now in real time. I'm going to play this clip.
The American people are ready to receive the truth.
Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe.
Humanity is not the only intelligent species.
We are absolutely not alone.
Non-human intelligence exists. UAPs are real, they're here, and they're not human. I spent 25 years as a senior official with the CIA.
I worked on highly classified UAP programs.
28 years as an astrophysicist.
I served as the 4th Director of National Intelligence.
Director of Aviation Security in the National Security Council.
A one-star admiral after 32 years of service.
People that come forward with this, I feel like they've taken their life in their own hands.
I was recruited to a highly sensitive government program that investigated unidentified aerial phenomenon. For over 16 years, on behalf of the U.S. government, I worked as a senior intelligence official on the unidentified aerial phenomenon topic. We learned that the U.S. government was involved in a long-running secret war with other nations to collect and reverse engineer vehicles not made by humans.
I have seen with my own eyes non-human craft and non-human beings.
So look at this thing. It's rotating. There's a whole fleet of them.
The first country that cracks the code on this technology will be the leader for years to come.
China has established its own version of a UAP task force.
You think for a second that they wouldn't consider using it to achieve their ends of domination?
This is similar to the Manhattan Project. This is the atomic weapon on steroids.
This is so secret, very, very few people in our entire government have been allowed access to it.
Even presidents have been operating on a need-to-know basis, but that begins to ramp out of control.
It's not acceptable to have secret parts of government that no one ever sees.
You better be careful about a government that doesn't trust its people, because there's no telling what they'll pull on you.
This is the biggest discovery in human history.
You had information being locked away that could change the trajectory for species.
It has so many beneficial impacts, including clean energy.
We should have disclosure today. We should have disclosure tomorrow. The time has come.
Yes, Jason, and thank you. The time has come. This is the age of disclosure. I believe we're in it. Happy Pi Day, look up. We've never been alone. It's never been a secret, really. If you're someone that has a Bible and believes in Scripture, you can tell someone's been trying to get through to the future, to us, that these things are here. They landed on Mount Hermon. They came into the women of this planet who bore giants called the Nephilim. You know this. You know this, right? This isn't new. You hearing this. This is them. I mean, who do you think it is? What do you think it is? They told you they are here. This other intelligence that is sexually compatible with our women, that is more superior in intelligence than us at this point. I'm going to say reptilian in nature, because it's given the ability to survive in a lot harsher climate than what we mammal human beings can on the surface. They could survive in the earth, underwater, which is exactly what they're doing. We too have a reptilian core in a part of our brain. Where does this all come from? Well, the Nephilim of the giants, it's all real. And to string this all together, the Nephilims were wiped out, but some lived in the end. How do I know this? Well, because it was written, and it was plucked out of your Bible, so you didn't see it. It's called the Book of the Giants. And what does it say? It shows you and tells you all the rest of the story that was cut out of the flood and what happened during it. And it is one of the most amazing stories. You should make a movie out of it. It's rather amazing. It reminds me of this, like, the never-ending story when Atreyu opens that book and he gets lost in it and it comes to life. The Book of Giants explains that it ties in how Enoch is taken to all these different places. Some could argue it was Thoth. And he's with the archangels, with Uriel, Raphael, and thank you, Deanne, for the coffees. Much love. God bless. He's with all these archangels, and it's showing him all these different things. Well, in the Book of the Giants, it's specifically talking about how a group of these giants were warned. They knew that this was coming. They knew that something bad was coming. Some of them did. And they pleaded with Enoch because they knew that he was like God's chosen one. At that point, that like, he was a scribe and that God would listen to him because God had turned his face away from the Nephilim, from the giants here, because they turned animalistic. They were eating humans. They were doing all the bad things. Okay? But not all of them. There were some good ones. There's always a remnant, man. So what does the book of Giants state? That God sent his angels out, Uriel the archangels, to prepare and preserve a place for them for a very moment, for a handful of the Nephilim that survived. Now, what is very interesting is when you start to look at this and you tear into this, the science comes out in this. It gives you the height of the giants, which they were massive, huge. And it tells you that it took them to the mountaintops. And when you read that how high the water came during the flood, and that it only went so high over the mountains, what it ends up equating to is that in these special places that the giants and these Nephilims were taken, they would have stood above the water. Barely. But they would have, and they would have survived. And they did. And there were giants after in those days. Your scripture tells you. Oh, yeah. And guess what? Shem's wife, she was one of them, of the serpent seed. It's written. So she came through, she brought it through on the boat. And then the whole seed line here. And then you ever wonder where all these other people come from that are there when Shem and all of his sons go out to populate in the world? Where'd they all come from? And do you know what happens at this point in time? Something crazy happens. Do you know where the evil spirits that you deal with every day come from? Do you know who and what they are? They are the Nephilim. It is written. They are the spirit of the Nephilim that were wiped out in the flood. And they were given the power to and told to for the rest of their days to tempt man. You should understand this clearly. Because this is what you're fighting against every day. Whether it's alcohol, drugs, sex, any of these things, these temptations. It's them. They've been given power to do this. Oh, yes, they have. But you have power over them. That's what you need to understand. You are a higher power. You are a higher being. When Lucifer seen Adam made of clay sitting there drying, he kicked it and said that he would not worship it because he made God, he told God, you made him of clay. I'm superior. He said, you made me of fire. Understand these entities are here. They're locked here under this firmament, these Van Allen belts, whatever you want to call it. They're locked here with us. They've always been here. They couldn't even listen. They couldn't even listen and oversee as a superior intelligence us as they were told to do. They had to steal our women and had sex with them and create monsters and defile this whole place. Do you think they're going to be let loose to roam anywhere else? No, we are locked in this place. Pretty darn sure of that. And we're not alone. They've always been here. They've always been here. It's my point. The reason I say all this is the scripture tells you all this. I've told you before, the stuff they've hidden. There's places where the souls go, and the same stuff in the same scriptures. They made a place where your soul goes, if anyone cares. Oh no, go off, watch some other video. There's something else more important, isn't it, than where your soul goes, huh? They only took that out and kept it from you. But no, That's top of the list important to me. And they made 3 places in the rock here on this planet. Don't you want to know where they're at? Trenton. That's where they sit now. That's where they'll all sit until judgment, apparently. It's where Abel is, even at this very moment, complaining to God, wanting redemption against Cain's seed. It's where he was when Enoch checked him and Raphael took him there. Blew him away. It's a pretty wild person to run into and to see and to be in the story, but yet he's there. And it helps explain this place. And I said it's almost like waiting in the lounge in Beetlejuice, where, you're waiting. This is what the books tell you. Do you understand? Lewis, thank you for the coffees. This is the hidden text. This is the stuff they took out. So when you fill in the puzzle pieces, it's like having this a puzzle that you haven't been able to see the full picture the whole time, and you know it. And you finally get the rest of these pieces that have been missing the whole time. And you're plugging them in, and you see the real picture. It's all becomes clear what happened here. This place is a petri dish. The Elohim created and created and created. And, man, there's different levels of it. I'm not going to spend the time here tonight diving down all the different levels of life and different names and, Pleiades and Andromedon and all these different connections, but we're definitely lied to. There's definitely intelligent life here. I believe reptilian in nature and more. Have you ever seen the movie Fire in the Sky? You want to see what a real alien, a gray, looks like? To a T. Go watch that. That's a gray. And grays are said to be a created worker bee class as well, to do the work for higher beings, more powerful beings. Ones that have oftentimes been described as looking like praying mantis and things like that. Or the reptilians that feed off of your energy. They literally attach, they vamp energy, soul energy. Listen, you wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. Do you understand this? You see this? Who is this spiritual wickedness? Who is it? It's the jinn. I call them the jinn. That's just the name that I dub them. Who are the jinn? They are the spirits on the other side. There's a whole hierarchy of them. They are the fallen of the Nephilim. Go read the Book of Giants, Jubilees, all these books that they cut out. It will fill in the pieces for you. I'm here to do that for you. Okay? I'm telling you. This is what's happened. And it tells you clearly how everything. Clear as day. And so here, let me finish it up like this. When the waters receded, and Noah and everyone came out of the ark, his sons and children went about living life. And immediately, what happens? What happens? Noah goes before God, asking him to stop the struggle. You may say, what do you mean? Noah says, you have got to stop the spirits from tempting my people. You've got to stop it. My sons, they're absolutely tormenting. They can't take it. It's that bad. This is what Noah goes before God asking. Ease it up. Knock it back a notch. And he did. He went down and rounded up, and there was a tenth to be put to work. He knocked back a whole huge force, God did, of this spiritual wickedness. It was that bad. Tempting them at every move. That they just couldn't take it. And Noah seen it and he knew it. He's like, they can't take it. It's too much. This is written, y'all. He knocked it back to 1/10 and allowed them to continue doing what they do to this very day, which is tempting you to do everything that you're not supposed to do. Now do you know how it works? Do you see that Lucifer sits at the top of this hierarchy? The Satan Nacho is the general of the army. This is why they cast circles and they write their names in it and they call upon them. It's a sigil with their name in it, the emblem. Solomon knew it and he mastered it. But what was he told? He was told not to use it for bad things. He did. He did. He used it for the wrong reasons. He got it stripped. He got it taken from him. He did. Do you know anything about any of this? If you're missing any of this knowledge, you need to go get it. You're running out of time. You're living in a moment where knowledge is at your fingertips. And if you're wasting time doing anything but trying to get it, you're squandering in a moment. Like, look, I told you before, we're fighting wizards and witches. You are. They know this. Trump, the leadership of this world, all of them, they know all this and much more. They know the secrets of Solomon. What made the Knights Templar so powerful? They became wizards. What did they find? They found the secrets of Solomon. It's no secret at this point. We know it. What was the first thing that they did? They went up into the mountains and they made a little church and they built an altar. And they made an altar of an entity. Not Jesus. Not, Mary Mother or anything like that. Who was it to? History Channel used to leave this part out. But it's the truth and it's real and you can go look it up yourself. Who? It was Azazel. He's real. I'll give him that much. They are real. You have to respect God's creations. Doesn't mean you worship them. And this is a battle I had for a long time. God had showed me this vision of this entity. I'm going to say it's the King Kong, Satan. And it reminded me of the video game Doom. I was in this dark place, might as well call it hell. I couldn't really see a whole lot, but I knew that this entity was in front of me. And God took me there in front of it and was like, do you respect my creation? And I kept going in fits. I'm not worshiping this. And I'm not, it's not, whatever you're trying to do is not going to work. And it scolded me. The Most High scolded me. It was like, it's not what I asked you to do. I said, do you respect my creation? I had to sit there with my mouth shut, stunned, taking it all in. What are you trying to get me to? Okay, it dawned on me that, he made it for a reason. And I'm like, yeah, I see it now. I see now. I see. I respect it. But I don't worship it. And I almost I felt like I was about to get backhanded, felt like I didn't even need to say that, because the whole point was it brought me into this place to see that he created it for a reason, and it was to tempt man, that this whole place is designed a certain way. All the scripture fills in all that blank too. That's what this is. Do you understand? You are in a car, a vessel. You are energy. You are not that car. You are a driver of that car. You are energy. When that car wrecks, when this body dies, your energy continues. It's a fact, Jack. Even if you're not spiritual, it's a scientific fact. Unless you just want to be stupid about it and ignore it. That's energy, and your energy is eternal. It only changes shape or form. Okay? So I would fight for that conscious energy, because I'm telling you here, it's being caught in a soul trap and it's being wiped. The consciousness, everything of all your past, everything is being wiped. Sometimes it may bleed through. It's being wiped. I'm telling you, the moon is a play at this. This is a soul trap. And it's by design. This is why you're born into amniotic fluid. Amnesia fluid. It's set up. That's why I tell you, fly high. Fly far away from here. If you can. And if you don't care enough to save your own soul and energy, something surely will grab it and use it and regurgitate it for whatever it wants. You have a choice. See, Jesus left this. All the prophets tried to tell you and hint at this. The way out is in. He said, follow me. But he asked you to live a certain way. Not to do as thou will, like Aleister Crowley. There's all these fakes out here. People act like they're religious and all say all this. They don't live the life. They don't walk it out. They don't raise the chrism. And see, that's the key. It's what sparks your antenna. Your antenna that the Most High sees. Without it, he ain't seeing you. The OBS didn't like that, huh? If you're not trying, I guess I'll end it on that note. We're in a very low vibrational place. Vibe high, vibe out of here. Okay? Love. Radiate high frequency. Do good things. Help thy neighbor. Walk righteous. Let it radiate out of every pore of your body. Righteousness. That is the way out of here. Love is. It sounded so mushy back then, huh? But no, as Jesus said, love is the key. It's the true way. It truly is. That energy, that path out of this dark, evil world. I hope you make it. I hope you make it past the second death. Because that is the real test to me. I don't want my soul wiped or used for whatever, snatched back up. I want the Most High, the righteous, loving Godhead to absorb me and to do something better with me. And I'm trying to earn that in this life. I would hope that you don't squander the moment. You do the same. And when you live righteous, you walk righteous, you raise your chrism. It's a real thing. It's a secret. It's the oil of gladness. It's real. If you seek, you will find. I love you, Hoodie Ross. All of you, much love. Brings me to a close on another one. And, yeah, we go on midnight. If the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, as I always say, I will see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. Stay safe, stay sharp, watch the weather weapon coming through. Thank you all for your love and support. All right, John Mock. More is on the way. God bless and much love the legendary Eon, who comes in every single stream and supports me. I can't thank you enough. I'm serious, y'all. There's tornado alert outbreaks out there. Stay safe in all this weather. Much love. It seems the establishment is again telegraphing lights out. One of the most recent warnings was the World Economic Forum warning of this lights out event, also dubbing this year the year of the poly crisis.
The signs in the skies, the magnetosphere's failing, extrasolar flare, CME's prevailing. We in the times when the truth's unveiling. You better catch up fast and stop trailing. And nailing the coffins misdirecting nations. Flames and jive resisting temptations. Only way to moving, taking haven. Agenda 21's all about sustaining the powers that be to continue reigning. So don't be mad when the MPs are raining. The days are numbered, I hear the seas wailing. So from here on in, it's strictly plain sailing. When the brick goes down, you better be ready. When the brick goes down, when the brick goes down, you better be ready. When the brick goes down, when the brick goes down, you better be ready. When the brick goes down, when the brick goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready.
Been seeing more and more things like airflow, and this is all part of an increase in the sun's activity from these CMEs. The solar cycle 25, we're entering the peak a little ahead of schedule. We don't want to see a Carrington event happen this day and age.
Ready or not, so keep your eyes to the skies for the signs being shot. It's now time to prepare for when the power's gone. Is it Chinese spy blues we're being showered from, or Carrington 2.0 powered on? There's many scenarios for what beckons when the countdown clock reaches the final second. Russian super nukes use to threaten till they letting them off like coronal mass ejections. Science the weapon, the choice they've chosen. Like glassing is a vice, stay cold and frozen. It's all lies, the world's not broken, but the countdown to 2030 not joking. When the brick goes down, you better be ready. When the brick goes down, when the brick goes down, you better be ready. When the brick goes down, when the brick goes down, you better be ready. When the brick goes down, when the brick goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready.
We now have the actor Dennis Quaid reading from the script, giving out this warning. And he says that the electric will go out up to 30 days. So that seems to be the window. They also state that people cannot survive without water, and that this too will shut down the water supply. How many people are paying attention?
Ready or not, pay attention, people, to the lies they spin. When the brick goes down, was it planned by kings? I demand I sling and a rock to swing. So show respect, it don't cost a thing. Like shots that ring, people look for cover. When shit is the fan, then people gon' suffer. The end's close, I can smell the sulfur. The grid's going down, well, wait, you're another.
Yeah, it's lights out like an EMP. Blood in the streets in the land of the free. It's all by design by the GOVERNMENT. Unless we're getting hit by CME, there's really no telling when the moment it's gonna be. From the time that it spark, reject the mark. You better have a plan or get left in the dark. Yeah, from the time that it spark, reject the mark. You better have a plan or get left in the dark.
When the brick goes down, you better be ready. When the brick goes down, when the brick goes down, you better be ready. When the brick goes down, when the brick goes down, you better be ready. When the brick goes down, when the brick goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready.
Ready or not? Ready or not? Ready or not? Ready or not?
I spent a decade warning everybody about this event. We're on the doorstep of it. I'm warning you. They're telegraphing it again. So this is a repeated theme. Now they've got one of their Hollywood goons out here reading from the script, warning, lights out is coming. It's like we can't trust anything going on out there. We've got to stay on top of things. Eyes to the sky, y'all. Chris P says, is this Cypress Hill or a knockoff? A knockoff, son. You better watch your mouth. This me and Crown Jewels. Yeah, it's meant to sound like that. It's meant to have that feel and all that. And the Ready or Not, it's just the way he mixes it. That's his UK style. I love it. Yeah. I'll take us out of here on one last one then. Again, this is from my boy Crown Jewels in the UK.
The Garden of Eden, the great flood.
There you are, Crown Jewels.
Birthplace of Abraham.
Much love, my brother. Salutes.
I know of men who have taken life needlessly in other conflicts. I can assure you, they live with the mark of Cain upon them. The enemy should be in no doubt that we are his nemesis, and we are bringing about his rightful destruction. If you are ferocious in battle, remember to be magnanimous in victory.
I took my place at the table and drank wine with the kings. Picked up my sword to go and battle with the gins. There's rumors of war and it's about to begin. So repent for sins before you send for your wings. About the school I'm out about, prepared crowns and kneecaps. Wrote revelations, been there and back with deep math. Read all the scriptures, seen through them like a sheet glass. I did the knowledge equipped with many weed sacks. So ease back, I speak facts, my spirit is prepared. What will be, never show no despair. Keep your head held high and have faith in the hair. And join in because there's power in prayer. And when the hour is here, don't be devoured in fear. Cause the flowers of smoke, they gave me powers of seers. And I've been pounding ears for years to down fears. So welcome to the underground, the thunder stars here, yeah.
Welcome to the underground, it's safe, it's over now. We got a place you can escape because you serve the crown. His word is moving now, the world is losing now. Out of the promised land cause they refuse to bow. Welcome to the underground, it's safe, it's over now. We got a place you can escape because you serve the crown. Now it's a day away, the war war about to break. So grab a sword, pray the Lord, and soldier, take your place.
Angels stand ready at the four winds. Abaddon's armor's on, about to storm in. So warn men as they hearing the lyrics. Stand bold, don't fold, ain't no fear in the spirit. The spirit, the spirit. Your mission, should you choose to accept it. Speak truth, tear down deception. Your only weapon, the words he's given. So spit flames, and rain hell from heaven. Form up, we about to storm up with the right team. This fight scene will make that all-seeing eye scream. With light beams we make them melt into a light sheen. Unless they covered by the blood like a sunscreen. The unseen is made clear only by his grace. For the king we give it all, we run the race. War is on, sword is dawn, make no mistake. Don't fall, stand tall, soldier, take your place.
Welcome to the underground, your safe is over now. We got a place you can't escape because you serve the crown. His word is moving now, the world is losing now. Out of the promised land cause they refuse to bow. Welcome to the underground, your safe is over now. We got a place you can't escape because you serve the crown. Now it's a day away, the war about to break. So grab a sword, pray the Lord, and soldier, take your place.
It's time to take your place, or you getting replaced. You either ride for the Lord or getting your soul erased. The demons give a chase, they all up in my face. That's when I hit them with holy water like it was mace. Better repent for sin and overcome the gin. The end time's here, so baby let the games begin. We walk in righteousness, the only way we gonna win. The soul screaming to heaven, begging to let them in. The seals are breaking, prophecy got the earth shaking. Better awaken or forever get your soul taken. I ain't faking, you better prepare. When the Lord comes to separate the wheat from the tare. If you care, time's ticking into the final hour. And when the Lord comes, you'll witness the power. When the trumpet sounds, it's about to go down. The real can only be found up in the underground.
Welcome to the underground, your safe is over now. We got a place you can't escape because you serve the crown. His word is moving now, the world is losing now. Out of the promised land cause they refuse to bow. Welcome to the underground, your safe is over now. We got a place you can't escape because you serve the crown. Now it's a day away, the war about to break. So grab a sword, pray the Lord,
and soldier, take your place.